Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checker TV. We are back with the Sunday night NextGen series here at Area 51, back again at Daytona for race number 5 on the season. 75 laps on the schedule here tonight. Qualifying is currently underway for our over 20 car field. Looks like we got about 26 drivers. They're going to be taking the time for qualifying tonight and going to be entering in the race. Definitely going to be a lot of fun to see these guys do battle as we get into the second third or so of the schedule. Obviously, we go Daytona, Atlanta, Talladega, iRacing Super Speedway. So this is our second trip here to Daytona, fifth race, as I mentioned, of the season. Going to be a lot of excitement as we get ready to go here, as we get closer halfway now to the playoffs. We have got 4 more races before we get to those playoffs, and only so many drivers can make that field for that competition in the final 4 races for the championship. Going to be a lot of fun. Speaking of your championship current standings, in first place, we've got Gabe Butler with 159 points. Second place is Eric Laurie with 141 points, 18 points behind. Behind them is Jim Brooks, 25 points back with 134. Nick Manfredi has 130. He's 29 points off of the leader, Gabe Butler. And Bud Steele in fifth place, 31 points off the lead with 128. Brandon Briggs, Edwin Outlaw, Kevin Freese, Robert Jordan, and Richard Sanchez. Actually, Robert Jordan and Richard Sanchez tied for 9th and 9th. So those are the top 10 right now in your standings. Those guys are in good shape so far to try and make their way to advance to the playoffs to compete for the championship for this first of 3 seasons here in 2023 in the next-gen car here on Sunday nights. Going to be a lot of fun here tonight at Daytona, as we mentioned, and myself, Boomer Logan. I've also going to be joined by Matt Wagner, who got Matt on board here tonight as well to call the action with me.
Hey, how you doing there, Boomer? It's pretty an eventful day here. Well, on my neck of the woods, and even though the clash is going on, and hopefully these drivers can put that behind them and hopefully win themselves a race.
Yeah, we will see. Definitely going to be a good field to do it tonight. We got a few more seconds left in qualifying, but the grid just about settled here. Kevin Freese currently has the quickest time at a 49.59, so we'll have to wait and see if he can hold on to that. Looks like there's 4 drivers that have not taken a time yet, so we'll see if they elect to do so or if they're going to elect to start at the back of the pack. But got about 30 seconds left here, so anybody who's finishing up a qualifying lap is going to have that opportunity to do so. Can we get even? Go ahead.
Yeah, you got about 20 seconds left.
Yeah. So 75 laps here, definitely a track that we've been to quite often in the past here at Area 51. Pretty standard, we know how Daytona works. Obviously, we've got some of the other excitement with the Atlanta Motor Speedway and the iRacing Super Speedway that we had last week. So kind of nice to get back into somewhere that everyone is fairly familiar with. Everyone kind of knows exactly where they're going to stand as far as pit strategies and such. Just about everyone running here at Daytona in the past. Obviously, the next gen car itself a little bit different for this series this season, but a different style of racing, if you will. These cars are they drive a lot more different, especially in the pack, than maybe like the Xfinity Series cars or the Truck Series cars, just because of the difference in the power steering that we have. So definitely makes a huge difference for super speedway racing, and should be a lot of fun tonight. But before we get too far into it, we're going to bring up our grid. And looks like Kevin Freese was able to hold on to that pole spot, running a 49.59.0. Cody Nagel's going to be to his outside, just 3 thousandths of a second behind him in that number 6 machine. He's going to be riding on the outside pole for tonight. Dude Conrad, third place in that number 8 machine with Bud Steele to the outside, row number 2 in the number 10 car. Winner here last week. Definitely exciting to see him get a win. Excuse me, I believe he got the win in the Truck Series on. No, yeah, they was here last week at iRacing Super Speedway. Bud had his win. Apologies, yeah. So, Bud, our most recent winner, going to see if he can capitalize on that again and try to win another one here tonight. Michael Mayu in 5th place is going to start in that 00 machine with Eric Laurie to his outside for row number 3. Rick Sanchez in the 510 machine starting in 7th place with Ryan Decker to his outside in the 61 starting in 8th. And Tom Dixon and Timmy Reed will round out the top 10 on your starting grid tonight. James Moen in 11th, Mike Grimkus in 12th in that number 79 machine. Take you to the next page of the grid. We've got 2 whole pages. We actually got more than 2 pages here tonight. We got Austin Call in 13th place with Brad Sligo going to be driving off into his outside row number 7. Jimmy Crawford and Jim Brooks, row number 8. Les Levy and David Bone, row number 9. Joshua Hanner and Todd Merkel in the 3 machine going to take up row number 10. Andy Brigante and Brandon Briggs and Larry Fairman, last drivers to take a time tonight, with David Overstreet starting in 24th. And we've got a couple here who did not also elect to take a time. Gael Brooks, Chris Bassini, and Edwin Outlaw will be our last 3 starters for the evening. Again, David Overstreet through Edwin Outlaw not electing to take a time tonight and wanting to start at the back of the pack. So we are going to catch up to your field here. They are pacing now behind the iRacing pace car down the back straightaway. And we're going to be ready to do battle here. 75 laps again, as we mentioned, here at Daytona International Speedway.
You know what? If you don't mind, I would like to bring a driver in here just before we go green. If
Let's do it. Go for it. Yeah.
So I wanted to bring up pretty much the guys who are really, really exciting last week. That I think I'm going to bring in Joshua Hanner in here just before we go green.
Go for it. We'll bring him up here now. We got Joshua Hanner with us.
So, Josh, what are your predictions and expectations for this race here tonight?
We're just going to kind of ride a little bit and let things sort itself out and kind of see where we're at the end. Hopefully we'll be up there and have a shot.
Oh, one more question before we let you go green. You guys were really good last race. Hopefully continue on. Good luck.
Thank you.
By the way, Boomer, green flag is out.
That it is. Green flag underway here at Daytona International Speedway. Going to be exciting to see these guys do battle tonight. Kevin Free starting strong on the pole in that number 25 Bud Light machine. He is going to start on that inside lane. Dude Conrad's going to be pushing him down the backstretch, and we got a decent amount of cars lined up here. Going to be a couple guys kind of trying to break away from the pack to get out of the chaos of the action, but 25 and the 8 on that inside lane and the 8 and the 00 on the outside lane are lined up there. Excuse me, the 00 on the inside lane ready to do battle, and trying to lead this first lap is Kevin Friesen from the pole. He's going to be
we got
successful.
trouble in the back.
Ooh, we got to wreck someone in the wall. Looks like already Andy Brigante. Ooh, the number 1 machine actually got hooked into the wall. Unfortunately, already. Wow, that was early. I don't think we actually got a yellow flag for that. So Chris Bassini went into the wall, hooked by the number 21 machine, it looks like. No, not the 21. 21 machine goes off track. The 63 of Brandon Briggs was the one who hooked him into the outside wall. We stay green, though, so we're going to jump back live. But, man, that's tough for the number 1 of Chris Bassini. He's on pit road right now trying to repair that number 1 machine. That's going to take him out of this race pretty early, you'd think.
No,
you see the field coming
Far
down.
from over.
Yeah, you see the field coming down through the trials. That's going to put him at least 1 lap down, Chris Bassini. And he's got a couple more minutes to tow back to the pits. He had enough damage that he couldn't drive back there himself. So he's going to be at least 1 lap down, maybe 2 by the time he gets back on track. But as you mentioned, Matt, it still is a little early. Obviously, there could be some more chaos that happens and plenty of lucky dog positions to try and gain back that lead position for Chris Bassini. So hopefully he can get back out on track soon.
Yeah, I hope I didn't do a commentator's team curse there. that is Joshua Hanner's teammate there.
We will see. Hopefully not. It's good to catch up with the teammate Joshua Hanner, as Chris Bassini's already having a little bit of a rough night. He's still trying to tow back to the pits, so it's going to be a little bit longer for him before he can rejoin this race if he chooses to. He'll definitely be a few laps down at this point, but 4 laps down in the books. Kevin Fries has led all of them. Definitely that inside line making their way. They're making the most progress, as you see that outside line there. Probably about 6 or 7 cars back, but they're still trying to make that work there on the outside. Bud Steele's still pushing the 6 of Cody Nagels up there, but as you see, we got quite a bit of a line here on the inside lane. Couple of Team Bootnaga Esports guys, couple Team Extreme guys here on this inside lane. Lots of guys doing battle here so far. And we actually have a bit of a second pack that's kind of formed. Looks like from that incident early on with Brandon Briggs and the number 1 of Chris Piscini. This pack back here is kind of branched off, but Andy Brigante is leading this pack with David Overstreet, Guile Brooks, Larry Fairman, Brandon Briggs, and Edwin Outlaw. So a little bit of ground to make back up for these guys, but hopefully shouldn't be too difficult, especially as the race goes on. There's still a lot of time left, as we mentioned early on already.
Oh no! If I was in the catbird seat of the one, and I would be desperately trying to help my my teammate get a win here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a better position to be able to help somebody or help a teammate, and it's not to say that the one couldn't still rejoin the race and still be able to potentially help his teammate out, even from a couple laps down, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But it's been, other than that, pretty quiet so far. We're just kind of sitting here single file as we kind of lead through the field here from our aerial cameras. You can see all the drivers lined up on that inside lane. And it looks like I got to go back to Cody Nagels here now in 10th place. First car on that outside lane. Now he's getting help from Eric Laurie. Bloodsteel dropped down to that inside lane. So these two guys are trying to push as much as they can to get back to the front. Jim Brooks is in that mix there in the outside lane as well, with the 3 of Todd Merkel up there as well. Todd was our one of our top 3 finishers last week. Todd, we didn't actually get a chance to interview you, and I think I made a promise that I would interview him tonight at some point, so we'll have to bring Todd up maybe if there's a little bit of a break in the action.
Yeah,
and,
we're going to have to do that.
Yeah, give him some kudos for that top 3 finish last week at iRacing Super Speedway. After him and the guy to his inside came back from about 10 or 15 seconds behind the leaders to make some progress and get back to compete for the race win.
I'm watching that outside line. It's creeping ever so back. It's just a lot of checking up on the inside line. Like everybody's not really in a hurry and kind of smooth sailing.
Definitely early so far, as we've already highlighted. So we'll see how this goes, but definitely making some progress. Cody Nagels is back up to 6th place with Eric Laurie behind him now. Obviously, we still have the 3 of Todd Merkel lined up 3rd in that outside lane. Kevin Freest continues to lead this race with Dude Conrad pushing him. Michael Mayu, Richard Sanchez, Tom Dixon, Timmy Reed, James Moen, and Jimmy Crawford. First 8 drivers in that inside lane that have broken away from that outside lane. Would assume that it's going to be a little quiet here until we get to our first pit stop, which should be coming in about 10 laps or so.
And it looks like that outside line is really starting to break up here. It's not as well formed as it once was, but Cody's making it work.
Yeah, so far, him and Eric Laurie are doing a lot of work on that outside line and trying to make something happen. You saw there through the last corner, though, they were broken up a little bit of a gap between the two, so unfortunately it doesn't help get through the corners when you have that separation, but they're lined up again, trying to push as much as they can. Definitely a bit of a difference. Those Chevy noses are still quite pointed compared to maybe the Toyotas or the Fords. So sometimes it is kind of hard to be a pusher if you are in one of those Chevrolets.
It's all about how close you are to the car in front of you. Like I said, Les Levy has gotten to the back of Todd Merkel there, and Joshua Hander is doing the same. And now they're a little bit more formed, but we'll see how it goes. You know, the top groove is actually the preferred groove, is actually the fastest way around here, but it's hard to say that. You know, back in the day, it was actually the bottom groove.
Yeah, definitely. You can keep the motor wound up a little bit more momentum. Sometimes the inside lane has to check up every once in a while as you get a run. You can't go quite as fast in the draft behind somebody there in that inside lane. So definitely some interesting differences between those two lines. A lot of times drivers will get a big run in that outside lane if they get a good push, get a good run down the backstretch and off of turn number 4 and make something happen. As we see the 6 Machines actually got a new partner here.
Yeah, you've
The
got Ryan Decker
61,
pushing
Ryan
him.
Decker has actually jumped up to push him, so he made his way up in front of the 071 of
Ooh,
Eric Laurie. So
a
they
little
got,
aggressive pushing, man.
yeah, he's pushing pretty hard there. Get a little squirrely there from the 6 of Cody Neagles. Let's see if we can see that push. The 61 of Ryan Decker all over the back of that number 6 machine, but they've moved all the way up to 5th. That is Cody Neagles, the leader of this outside line. So Decker is doing some work here, trying to get up to the front. Still not quite there yet, and that's quite aggressive early on. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah. He's going to win a race here soon enough. Now, I've been seeing, you know, this. He's been running up front just about every week, and he's going to get one. Yeah, I guarantee you by this end of the season.
He was there at towards the end of. Oh, he's actually going to go inside, make it 3 wide. Wow, very aggressive from the 61. He's going to make a move to go inside, try and get. He's going to hang the 6 machine out to dry. It looks like as Eric Laurie, the 071, is going to pick up that 61. We do see the number 2 machine of Joshua Hanner. He's going to try and make that 3rd lane work, but that 61 now getting just past 61, and the 071 are actually going to jump to the bottom, so that hangs the 3 and the 6 machine out to dry. And I think that's going to break up this pack even more.
Yes, it did. Oh, yeah, yes, it did. That side draft, it just totally kills the momentum.
Yeah.
It just broke up that whole pack there.
The 3 and the 6 machine still 3 wide. They can't get down. They're going to have to just wait it out here and see as soon as they can get down as now the 6 can drop in front of the 3 machine. But yeah, that's a tough break going from trying to lead that outside line to now we're completely broken up single file all the way throughout the field. So now there's about a 1 second gap between Eric Laurie and Bud Steele here that you can see. We'll see off the front nose of the number 10 machine here.
Yeah, it looks like they're about to get grouped back up again.
Should have enough of a run that they can get back to each other. You can see that gap here out the front window of the 10 machine of Bud Steele. Again, our race winner from last week at iRacing Super Speedway.
Yeah, it looks like they can. I bet you they could.
Yeah, they should be able to. It looks like the gap between Eric Laurie and Bud Steele is less than a second. So usually that's enough to be able to get some momentum, but unfortunately does not look like those guys back there really want to stay single file.
By Cody Nichols there. Just gave to Les Levy there.
Oh, we've actually... It looked like we had a car on pit road, but... so we actually got Brandon Briggs, who's slow and off the pace right now. Larry Fairman is also slow and back off the pace. Not entirely sure what happened there, but I don't have a way to go back too well to actually go back and see what happened. So looks like we still got Gael Brooks, David Overstreet, and Andy Bergante in this second pack behind the leaders. They're now 12 seconds off of Todd Merkel here at the end of the second pack. So there's a bit of a gap here now. Looks like we've got a 1.4 second gap off the back of Eric Laurie, as you can see, to that second pack. So that second pack, he's going to lose a little bit of draft there. Looks unfortunately like they're not really trying too hard to stay single file and push. The double wide action back there is probably unfortunately hurting them just a little bit. But we'll see. There's a little bit of a run here by Bud Steele to get back up. So hopefully Bud's got enough to be able to, the 052 of Brad Slagle is pushing all over the back of the 10, so hopefully the second pack can catch back up to our leaders here. Just mention that.
Yeah, Brandon just lost a draft, and it just...
Yeah, so Brandon Briggs is actually making his first pit stop of the night, maybe a couple laps early, but just trying to pit here and maybe repair some damage here, it looks like potentially. I do also see Edwin Outlaw on pit road, but I believe, I don't know if he has some troubles or had some damage, but he is probably going to be out of this one, as it looks like he's actually out of the car now. So Chris Bassini is still sitting on pit road himself, so I'm assuming that would mean that he's done for the night, has elected to get out of the car. Edwin Outlaw has gotten out of the car, so he for sure has retired.
Yeah, he's had a little bit of connection issues on his end.
Yeah. Yeah, according to the live timing and scoring, I see Edwin kind of jumping in and out of the session, so unfortunately maybe some internet issues there for him. But we still stay green here. We got lap number 17 that we're working on. We're going to expect to see some cars here coming down pit lane here pretty soon. At least would expect, maybe not this time by, but probably next time by, especially for our leader, Kevin Freese. He's been out front leading the pack the whole way, which means he's not saving any fuel. Unfortunately, they're not able to be in that lead car in that number 25 Ford Mustang. Getting those good pushes from the number 8 machine of Dude Conrad and Michael Mayu in third place. These guys have been pretty quiet here, just maintaining that status quo on pushing that inside line, trying to break away from that second pack as much as they can and maintain as much of a lead as possible.
Yeah, I can't really tell there, Boomer, if that second pack is actually catching the first one.
Shows now, according to timing and scoring, that they're actually a little bit slower. So you can see the gap here now. It's about 1.8 seconds between Eric Laurie and Bud Steele, which is a little bit more than usually about the 1 second mark is where you have enough of a draft that if you have a good run, you can kind of catch back up to the guys in front of you. Unfortunately, it doesn't help that this first pack is fairly organized here, single file. They're just kind of riding around, so they're running a little bit faster laps there. It looks like everyone was just about even that last time by, but that front pack definitely running a little bit quicker at times to bridge now a 2.3 second gap between the last car in this first pack and the first car in the second pack of Bud Steele.
Yeah, they're about 11/100ths of a second faster.
Not much, but it adds up
Not
over time.
much.
We'll see. This
Yes, it
lap, I
does.
think they were a little bit slower. We'll have to take a look and see. Does
We do
anyone
have some cars
take
coming
down
down
pit road?
here.
We got a couple here. We got
Yep.
Cody Nagels coming this time by. Cody Nagels and Larry Fairman. It looks like, that 6 machine is probably going to get a couple penalties there. That was a bit of an aggressive pit road entry, unfortunately, for Cody Nagels. That's not going to bode well for his night.
No, it's not. It's going to make everything worse.
Yeah, so we got Andy Brigante coming down, Gael Brooks. So this that third pack there that was way back, they've all elected to come down together. David Overstreet, Gael Brooks, and Andy Brigante, David Overstreet, and Gael Brooks were in that pack as Cody Nagels and Larry Fairman receiving their service. Looks like Cody is going to be held here for quite a while, I would think.
Yeah, 40-second
at
hold.
least a 40-second penalty for an unsafe pit entry. We'll see if he sped too. That would be, I believe, another 20 or 30 seconds. So he's going to
we got
spend some
another
time
one.
in his
Joshua
box.
Hanner went off track. That's going to be an unsafe entry for Joshua there.
Yeah, so Joshua Hanner is in his box now. Richard Sanchez, Eric Laurie, Dude Conrad, and Kevin Freese are getting their pit service as Cody Nagels continues to sit in his pit box. It's going to put him at least one lap down, probably more. He's got 55, 56 seconds, so I think he got an unsafe. Ooh, a little bit of a bobble there for the 25 machine as he gets off pit road, a little bit loose. At least he's with a teammate there of the 071 of Eric Laurie. They can kind of run together, but man, that was definitely a moment there for the 25 machine. All right, we'll catch back up to the leaders now as we see Tom Dixon, James Moen, Michael Mayu, some of the Team Extreme guys making their way onto pit road. Pretty clean for this big group of cars here down pit road. That was quite impressive. Tom Dixon leads them. James Moen, Michael Mayu, Timmy Reed, Ryan Decker, Jim Brooks, Jimmy Crawford, Brad Slagle. Looks like Bud Steele is still out on track. Les Levy, David Bone, and Todd Merkel all coming in this time by. So quite a bit of a big pack in.
Yeah, that big pack may catch the small little pack there because
we'll see.
These guys are coming out pretty well organized. Team Extreme there.
Yeah, that was a heck of a pit stop for those Team Extreme drivers. That was a big group of cars there on lap number 21. So we'll see if they get caught by, it looks like Dude Conrad is the next driver on track. So Dude Conrad's actually going to inherit this lead, it looks like, as he's going to pretty easily overtake most of these cars. As I take it back, James Moen, Michael Mayu, and Timmy Reed are still ahead of them, but I think Dude Conrad's going to have enough of a head of steam with his teammate Richard Sanchez pushing him to be able to get back up to the front. And you can see there that number 8 machine is going to come right around that number 7. And he's going to inherit the lead after the 25 machine had some troubles on pit road. So we got this first pack here. Dude Conrad, Richard Sanchez, James Moen, Michael Mayu, Timmy Reed, and Tom Dixon. Timmy Reed, the last car in this pack here. Looks like Joshua Hanner also, we mentioned already, Joshua Hanner had those penalty, so he had a 40-second stop and hold, so he is now the first car 1 lap down in this pack here. So he's on the pack of the leaders, which helps him out as far as the 2 machine getting his lap back. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes.
Yeah. So we got a 5-car breakaway there, Boomer.
We do. And now the second pack. So we've got now Tom Dixon, Kevin Freese, Eric Laurie, David Bone, Brad Slagle, Les Levy, Bud Steele, and Ryan Decker in this second pack. Third pack now goes back to Todd Merkel, 2.5 seconds off of the second pack. Jimmy Crawford and Austin Call. Got another 7 seconds to get back to Jim Brooks, who's unfortunately all by himself, but he's probably going to pick up Gael Brooks here in just a second. His son, Gael, and friend of the broadcast. Gael's going to be running with Andy Brigante and David Overstreet here, that they lost a little bit of the draft after the issues from Brandon Briggs and the number 1 machine of Chris Bassini early on, so they've had a bit of a hole to climb out of, but Dude Conrad's going to inherit this lead here with 24 laps so far underway.
I'll be watching them lap times here.
Have to
that last time by, they were about 0.3 of a second faster. They were about 0.5 of a second faster. They're coming in a heartbeat there, Boomer.
Yeah, that second pack quite a bit faster that last time by. They're within about 1.1 seconds so of the car in front of them, at least Tom Dixon, the 411, trying to catch Timmy Reed. And the two of Joshua Hanner at the end of this lead pack. So they're going to be there in probably just about a lap, as you see now the gap closing quite a bit. They might have enough of a run to get around them, you'd think. Maybe try and form a second line. What do you think, Matt?
Well, that's really hard to say. As soon as they probably catch them in a heartbeat, they're probably going to go around them on the outside. You may see some cars jump out of line and come up to that second lane. We'll see.
Here we go. We see the 411 jumping to the outside with Kevin Freese in the 25 machine. They're going to see what they can do by themselves. Eric Laurie's probably going to join. There he does now. Eric Laurie and David Bone.
If anybody jumps out of line, I'm just quite curious.
Yeah, it looks like Brad Slagle's going to jump to the outside too. So we've got a little bit of a battle here now, as the 25 machine and the 411 machine are really hooked up. Those two Fords pushing really well right now. A lot of teams. So we got a lot of Team Extreme and a lot of Team Bootnaka drivers here in this first pack. So definitely a bit of a mix here as far as those two teams go. So definitely boding well so far for those guys. Bit of a mix of manufacturers for both groups. See some Fords and some Chevys for the Team Bootnaka guys, and see some Fords, some Chevys, and some Toyotas for the Team Extreme drivers. Definitely a lot of different manufacturers to play with, but all running for the same team. You see a lot of those Team Extreme drivers with that green spoiler. It's easy to point them out. There's a lot of those guys running here tonight.
We do have a couple of lap cars coming. Cody Nagel is probably going to fight really hard to stay at least 1 lap down, because once you go 2 down here, it's going to be very tough to make up, but they ain't no Bill Elliott.
Yeah. So we do know Joshua Hanner here is 1 lap down. He's with this lead pack. He's the only car 1 lap down who's with the lead pack, so you'd expect him to be in a good position as far as getting his lap back. Larry Fairman is also 1 lap down, but he's with this second pack now, with actually the third pack, I believe. So Austin Call, Jim and Gael Brooks, David Overstreet here. Actually, no, I take it back. Excuse me. He's running with... this is... Okay, second group is Todd Merkel, Jimmy Crawford, and Austin Call. Then the third pack is Jim Brooks, Gael Brooks, David Overstreet, and Andy Brigante. So Larry Fairman is here in this third group. So he's 1 lap down, and then Cody Nagels is running with Brandon Briggs. Brandon Briggs is quite a few laps off the pace at this point now. I believe he is 2 or 3 laps down. Looks like 2 according to the tower there. So obviously Cody Nagels
Cody's 1 down.
Yeah, Cody Nagels is 1 down. Brandon is 2. So these guys are going to be fighting really hard to try and stay on that lead lap, or trying to stay 1 and 2 laps down, because if they go any further down, it's definitely not going to be not going to bode well for him. Yeah, Cody is 1, Brandon is 2 laps down. Matt.
Yeah, it's it's gonna be really hard. He's gonna fight really hard.
Should eventually see them out of the front view of this number 25 machine, as this pack has a lot of momentum here. Top 13 drivers and one lap car of Joshua Hanner in this first pack here, working on lap number 30 as we approach halfway. Probably about 10 laps away from our second set of pit stops here as well. Not much of a outside lane has formed, but the 25 machine and the 071 as well as the 411 of Tom Dixon were able to get around the leaders on the inside lane. So Dude Conrad is now demoted to 4th place as they run, with Richard Sanchez pushing him. He was in 2nd, now 5th. So Kevin Freese is 1st, Eric Laurie, Tom Dixon. They are going to pass that lapped pack of the 6 and the 63 machine. 25 is going to jump up to get a little bit of draft there. Or maybe just Eric Laurie
there's
by.
A little bit of help over here.
Yeah, interesting. Trying to get them back, get them enough momentum to get back in the pack here. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
So, yeah, it is interesting because they're not necessarily running together.
Yeah, these guys, I know these guys quite well from other leagues. I actually ran some leagues with these guys. It's one big super speedway community. Kevin is actually friends with Cody Nichols there.
Okay. So maybe not running in voice chats or teammates, but friends
correct.
outside.
Outside teammates, correct.
Yeah, that's great. Always cool to see sportsmanship like that. So that's going to keep the 6 machine 1 lap down. He's not going to go 2 laps down. The 2 machine of Joshua Hanner is still the first car 1 lap down. So that at least helps Cody Nichols stay 1 lap down. And I would assume that Kevin Freese is going to continue to help push him and keep him ahead of this pack, as now him, Eric Laurie, and Tom Dixon have broken away just a little bit here. As you can see there now off the back of the 411 machine. It's a little bit of a breakaway to the 8 machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not much. It's about 0.6 of a second, and eventually I would expect them to be able to catch back up, but definitely some good pushes from this first group, and it was enough to get them out ahead. Now 0.7 of a second ahead of Brad Slagle, so we'll go off of the front of Brad Slagle, go off the front of the 8 machine of Dude Conrad. You can see that gap there from the front of the 8 machine. So slowing down to help the lap car of the number 6 machine of Cody Nagels was the 25. He still is your leader, and that caused a little bit of a breakaway here. Now we're about a second back, where Kevin Freese, Eric Laurie, and Tom Dixon here are able to hold a pretty solid line. Obviously, remember, the number 6 machine started P2 tonight, so he's obviously running a lot worse than he wanted to after that issue on pit road, getting onto pit road, and that 40-second penalty for an unsafe pit entry, but he's at least right there running with our leaders, 1 lap down ahead of the leader. And they've got a little bit of a gap here that they're breaking away from the pack here, Matt.
I'm shocked, actually. If I had to guess that they caught Dude Conrad kind of sleeping, and I don't know his experience here with him in these next gen cars. We'll see. Let's see if the 510 of Richard Sanchez can give him the same treatment as Kevin Freese gave Cody Nagels.
Hey, we will see here. Dude Conrad now is about 1.5 seconds off the back of Tom Dixon. So jump back. There's Dude Conrad leading that second pack now. 1.3 seconds back. So it's close enough that if they got a good run, and it looks like the 510 is doing a lot of work to push that 8 machine, trying to get back to the front. You see him kind of duck out to the outside there just to get a breath of fresh air on the front nose of that Ford Mustang, pushing that number 8 Camaro. It's going to give him a good shove here down the back stretch. You see, nice little bump. Trying to get back to the pack in front of them. They're making good progress now. They're only about a second back, and they've got a little bit of a run here, as you can see them close the gap just a little bit to Tom Dixon in that 411 machine in 3rd place. Big push there from the 510. They're desperately trying to get back to the front of this pack. Bud Steele there kind of quietly back up to 6th place. Ryan Decker Brad Slagle, David Bone, and James Moen rounding out your top 10 right now as they sit. The 00 of Michael Mayu, Les Levy, Timmy Reed are all in this pack, as well as the 2 of Joshua Hanner, who is the first car 1 lap down right now. And that will be the top 12 drivers in the pack, in this first and second packs.
I was kind of looking to see where Gaio, Brooks, Overstreet, and Brigante were compared to leaders. Oh, I guess they're about 10 seconds.
Yeah, so right now I think we show Todd Merkel and this group here is about 9 seconds off of the drivers behind them. So that puts them probably about 11 seconds behind our leaders. But that's Todd Merkel, Austin Call, and Jimmy Crawford there in this second pack. Gael Brooks is 20 seconds behind these guys with David Overstreet, Andy Brigante, and Jim Brooks as well. And I believe they've got the lap car of Larry Fairman in this pack as well. So they're fairly close to going a lap down, I would think, as we'll pop back to our leaders who are now taking to the short chute between turns 4 and the tri-oval, now passing the start-finish line. So about a half a track between that third group or fourth group, if you will, of Gael Brooks, David Overstreet, Andy Brigante, and Jim Brooks. Fortunately, kind of caught that bad break after the contact between the 1 of Chris Bassini and the 63 of Brandon Briggs at the very beginning of this race. And they've kind of been playing catch-up, or really not catch-up. They've been drifting back just about this entire time, unfortunately. Makes it difficult for them to catch back up. But we'll see. There's still a lot of action left. We're halfway through this race. Lap number 38 now we're working on. It'll be lap number 39 at the stripe. And we're probably about 2-3 laps away from pit stops, don't you think, Matt?
Yeah, we're getting pretty close to the pit stops here. If I had to guess, probably about 5 laps?
I would think so. I think we went about 20, 21 laps here. Most of the field went on lap 21, a couple guys on lap 19, and a couple on 20.
Okay,
we saw that
about
big group of Team
laps.
Extreme guys on lap 20. So probably about lap 40 here, or lap 41, 42 is probably going to be a good bet here. But we'll see. Single file action here at the front of the pack. The number 8 machine of Dude Conrad now has caught up to the 411 of Tom Dixon. So we are all lined up here, 1st through 13th in this first pack with a couple stragglers, a couple lap cars. Again, we mentioned the 6 machine of Cody Nagels was picked up by our leader of Kevin Freese. Maybe not some teammate work as we mentioned, but some friends and some help to keep that number 6 machine from going 2 laps down. He actually sits 1 lap down at the tail end of that 1 lap down. So if he were to get passed by our leaders, he'd be 2 down. So right now, not going to get the lucky dog because the 2 machine of Joshua Hanner in this lead pack is that first car 1 lap down, but definitely some help nonetheless for that 6 machine there. We're going to wait to see what happens. We got a couple cars. Looks like that 3rd, 4th pack, whatever have you. Gael Brooks, David Overstreet, Jim Brooks, and Andy Brigante taking to pit road now, trying to stay as organized as they can. Ooh, Gael slides through. Oh, the 46 and the 71 both slid through their pit styles. Unfortunately, as you see the field now passing them. So there are only 4 drivers on pit road, all looking to get off pit road now. And maybe see some other cars coming down this time by.
Well, those cars had about not as much car as these guys, but we'll see. I think Cody is coming in right now. Let's see if everybody follows. Yep, here they come. I'm seeing a little bit their pit boards lighting up there on my screen.
All right. So the 6 machine, the 25, the 071, probably coming in this time as you see a lot of that front pack, maybe about half that front pack or so now coming down. Dude Conrad, Bud Steele, Richard Sanchez.
Team Extreme is staying out there.
Yep. Les Levy, Bud Steele, Ryan Decker. So Team Extreme is going to go 1 more lap. They did this on the first pit cycle. They should be able to go, I think, 2 laps here, actually.
Yeah, they're slowing because of the 7 car, and oh man, they're going to lose a bunch of time here if they're going to have to make a move. I would pit this lap.
We'll see. That's Tom Dixon now, who has inherited the lead with Brad Slagle, David Bowen, James Moen, Michael Mayu, and Timmy Reed in this front pack now, with the 2 machine of Joshua Hanner again. First car 1 lap down. You're going to see all these guys ducking down the pit road now, fanning out, trying to get slowed down. Make sure you get to the cone. Wow, what a move by the 33 machine. Ooh, the 2's going to get turned. Oh, Joshua Hanner, after his teammate had some issues tonight. Joshua Hanner had a pit road speeding penalty, and he, I think, is going to be done for the night. Ooh, the 256 of Timmy Reed absolutely sliding into his box. Actually, no. Too far left, locked it up. Ooh, that 256 had some issues getting into his stall, and unfortunately all of his teammates are getting ready to get off pit road. So there you see it there. There was that second pack of Jim Brooks and those guys that just passed. But Tom Dixon re-inherits the lead here. I would think that Kevin Freese and this group here is going to have enough of a head of steam to get back around him, though, as actually it's going to be the 8 of Dude Conrad leading this pack. So you'll see them here passing these drivers as they get off of pit road. So a little bit of some organization, but some mishaps there for the drivers pitting with the Team Extreme group. And unfortunately, I think that's enough chaos to put them quite a bit off of this lead pack, as Dude Conrad, Kevin Freese, Eric Laurie, Richard Sanchez, and Ryan Decker here are now in this front group. We'll see how it settles out, but the 62 machine of Les Levy is now in 6th place with Bud Steele behind him. And then the rest of the Team Extreme drivers, Tom Dixon, James Moen, Brad Slagle, Michael Mayu, and Timmy Reed are quite a bit back, separated from each other. So they're not going to have as much pushing power, unfortunately, after that pit stop.
Yep, I think I was the, as you would call, the commentator's curse.
Could be for the 2 of Chris Hanner, as it looks like Joshua Hanner, excuse me, I keep mixing up Chris Passini, his teammate, with Joshua Hanner in the 2 machines. So, yeah, definitely unfortunate there tonight for the closed circuit racing drivers after they had such a strong showing at iRacing Super Speedway in the hunt for the win, but fortunate not to be tonight. So they're going to have to settle for waiting for next week when we go back to Atlanta Super Speedway. Been pretty quiet so far, though. The only chaos we saw was the 63 of Brandon Briggs making contact with the 1, turning him into the outside wall at the beginning of the race on, I believe that was either lap 1 or 2. It was pretty early. Other than that, just maybe some woes for Joshua Hanner now twice getting down pit road, had some issues, and a couple other guys sliding through pit stalls. But other than that, we've been cleaning green, working on lap number 45, now 46. And now we've only got 30 more laps to go in this thing here, Matt. What can you expect to be different in these next 30 laps that maybe hasn't happened yet, or is it going to stay the same so far for the rest of the race, you think?
You probably might see some really over-aggressive pushing here. I'm watching back in his pack between the 7 and the 411. The 7, oh God, speaking of that, we got turned.
Ooh. Bunch of chaos. The 10 of Bud Steele involved.
All right, man, caution is out.
And
that's going to throw the
flag.
yellow. Let's see if we can jump back to that action. As you mentioned it. Ooh,
yep,
already turned
I saw
there.
it happen.
See if we can grab another replay here. The 7 machine pushing really hard. Gets into the fence potentially on that outside, but just kind of, gets up out there, and 052. Ooh, just kind of gets into him there. That's unfortunate for the 10 machine. Just really an innocent bystander, as 7 kind of looks like he caught the wall, and unfortunately, I think the 10 is going to fare pretty well here, but I think we're going to see the 7 here take an absolute hit. Oh, even in the virtual world, that you hate to see something like that. So that 7 machine's probably going to take a tow back to the pits. James Moen there, fortunately made the mistake off of turn number 2, collected a teammate and collected the 10, but hopefully he's going to be okay. So this is actually going to jumble up pit strategy quite a bit here. But before we get to that, you see the 10 machine. Looks like the 10 machine fared without any damage I think what was it, the
Really?
256? Yeah, I think Bud Steele never actually touched anything. So
Go
hopefully the
back and
10.
look at that.
Yeah, you can see the skid marks just behind the car there. It looks like he was able to slide away from the wall and not make any contact. But as we talk about that, so we're gonna finish talking about that. We're gonna jump back up to our leaders here, and we are gonna watch.
Oh yeah, he did have a light hit.
Oh, the 10 had a late hit. Okay, my
A
apologies.
little light hit on the left, on the
All right, jumping
right
back
rear
live
there.
here. We're gonna see our leaders come down pit lane. So this is Dude Conrad coming in to get his service, as will the rest of the field.
And Cody Nagels will be the recipient of the lucky dog, I think.
It's good for him. So we'll see here how this goes for our drivers down on pit road. Eric Laurie overshoots his pit stall just a little bit here. This will give a chance for some of the Team Extreme guys to get back in the hunt and bunch back up. We see the 10 of Bud Steele making his way back to pit road. And we'll see how they fare coming off of pit road here in just a second. Looks like actually the 61 machine of Ryan Decker is going to jump out to the lead, taking fuel only. Les Levy
Not a
also
bad strategy.
taking fuel only, as well as Michael Mayu. And Tom Dixon looks like he took right side tires. So Kevin...
Not a bad strategy.
Yeah, not a bad
like
one
it.
at all. Yeah, making some changes here. Kevin Freese and Dude Conrad and the rest of the Team Bootnaka drivers all taking 4 tires, but a little bit of pit strategy here for the 61. And it looks like we're going to have a couple drivers that are going to get a chance to wave around the pace car. As you mentioned, was it the 6 machine of Cody Nagels you said was the lucky dog recipient?
Yes, he was.
You can see him there. If we got a better camera angle, we could actually see him. Find a camera angle here, maybe not. All right.
He's coming off pit road.
Yeah, he's coming. He's on. Well, on the camera here, he's getting his 4 tires of fuel. But we'll jump back to our leaders here. Looks like the 3 is also going to get a wave around as he's going to go around the pace car. So he's going to get 1 lap around. He pit last at lap number 42. So that gives him an opportunity to not take tires and fuel. Everybody pretty much from this point still has to pit 1 more time, I would think, as we've got 26, maybe 25 laps to go when we go back to green here. See the 3 car running around. So with everyone pitting 1 more time, obviously the 3 machine of Todd Merkel is going to have to catch back up to the pack. But if everyone's got to pit 1 more time, hopefully he'll have enough of an opportunity to pit with everybody again and get back on the pit sequence. But let's see if we can actually pull up Todd here for a second. I know we said we'd talk to him after his 3rd place finish.
Yeah, I think
so we'll see. Hopefully we won't bug him too much here. See if we can grab him real quick if I can find him in the Discord, which... I got him right here.
Got him?
Yeah, here we go. All right, we're going to bring up the number 3 machine. Todd, we didn't have a chance to interview you before the race like we said we would, but unfortunately, so either way, we'll still get a chance to interview you now for that. Obviously, you had a 3rd place finish at iRacing Super Speedway. Things not going quite your way, but it looks like you're trying to take a wave around here to maybe try and get back onto the same pit strategy as the rest of the leaders here. How do you think the rest of the race is going to fare for you tonight?
Well, I guess it's all going to depend on caution flags because what happened was I had a little crew chief incident on pit road the last time, and I was unable to put fuel in it on that pass. So then I didn't quite make a full lap and had to coast around. But we'll see. I'm full now.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to it, Todd. Good luck, and congratulations again for that 3rd place finish last week, and hopefully your luck turns around and you can keep on the same strategy as the leaders.
Thank you much. Have a great night.
You as well. We'll put you back there with your teammate, working with Austin Call tonight in the 64 machine. That's the number 3 of Todd Merkel. Again, top 3 finish last week on some great strategy, some great green flag action that we saw at iRacing Super Speedway.
Right now, if I was Cody Nagels and I'm sitting there back there, let the chaos ensue.
Definitely.
I know these cars are really hard to keep up, but some of these guys may get a little bit desperate, trying to make a little bit more desperate moves. I don't know. That would be my prediction.
Yeah.
But because any kind of incident, we will not give him that lucky dog recipient there.
So we shall see. Definitely, Cody and Larry Fairman are going to be trying to do everything they can to stay. Looks like Cody and Larry are actually right with each other, right behind each other, trying to compete for that lucky dog spot. But we'll go back to the front of the pack. We mentioned Ryan Decker and Michael Mayu only taking fuel on that last stop, so that gave them the track position to be up front. As we get into the final third of this race, you can definitely expect there with our first caution of the night with 25 laps to go that I think the action's going to be ramping up quite a bit. Still one more pit stop that has to come through for these drivers to get more fuel to finish the race, which may add a little bit more chaos. But definitely when you get a big pack and a lot of drivers grouped together towards the end of the race and a lot of aggression, people trying to win a race, definitely maybe adds to a little bit of the excitement and chaos, don't you think, Matt?
Yeah. Actually, I want to give a little bit of shout out there to the Brooks guys and Eddie Brigante. They were almost about to go a lap down. They were about at least about 5 seconds in front of the leader, but unfortunately that caution saved them, man. It's just they got a horseshoe.
Yeah, definitely fortunate for Jim Brooks, Andy Brigante, and Gael Brooks. They're now all attached to this front pack. Got our boss man on the camera there, Gael Brooks, in that beautiful number 71 Extra Life machine. Him and his dad, Jim Brooks. Jim running the Area 51 colors as usual here in that beautiful black and green 51 machine. Definitely bodes well for them to get back to that lead pack, and hopefully we can see what they can do here tonight. Though it's been a pretty common story we've had up at the front. We've seen this 25 and the 8 machine up here just about all night long. We lost the action there for a second as we went to the back, but we saw the 25 and the 8 machine jump to the outside, got around the 00 and the 61. And now Kevin Freese, Dude Conrad, and Les Levy are your top three as they sit with 22 laps to go as they cross the stripe that time.
Man, oh man.
All right, Matt, so we've got 22 laps to go. We've got one more pit stop to make. So you've got about 25 laps. You have to pit one more time. You can either pit 5 laps into this run or with 5 laps to go in the race. What are your thoughts?
Wow. That's a really good question. Well,
Or do you split in half?
Well, you could, or you could run it out, but that's just a big risk. If you get caught, by yourself or just maybe just a little group of cars, it's gonna hurt you. You're probably gonna pit, in one big group, and that's pretty much your chance to win here.
We'll definitely have to wait and see. I know a lot of these guys have had some woes on pit road as far as getting into their stalls and a little bit of chaos as far as getting turned and missing pit entry for a couple drivers. So this is going to be very important. Obviously now we've got 17 drivers here on the lead lap in this lead pack. Bit of a saving grace for some of them, as we mentioned, is they spent a lot of this race quite a far way off of that front pack. So going to make a big difference for this final stop. Going to be the money stop for sure. If it is not under yellow, going to have to dot your I's and cross your T's and make sure you get on as fast as you can on pit road, but without any mistakes.
Oh, if we were to split this run up, if I would to pit, it probably would be 64. I would come down pit road, but don't hold me to it.
So you're talking about more or less splitting the last 25
correct.
laps in half. Okay, all right.
Correct.
Let's see here. See what these guys up front are going to eventually do. Obviously, we got 19 laps to go. That time by as they cross the start-finish line. Dude Conrad all over the back of the 25 machine trying to give his teammate a great push. Been pretty successful so far, these two have been tonight at getting back to the front after each pit cycle. Kevin
Oh,
Freese
yeah.
has probably, I would think, at this point led all, not all, I should say, but the most laps, I would think, so far.
Oh, yeah, he's got that buttoned up.
That'll be a bonus point for the championship. That'll be ever so important for our current points leader.
Wait,
Ooh, the
they're
8
coming
machine,
down.
they're coming this
Look at
time
this.
by. Okay, so we actually coming in early. Wasn't quite expecting it, but we're going to see the 25
Yeah.
machine get onto pit road there. And looks like everybody got down cleanly. So
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll keep an eye on these guys. See if we can watch how they get into their... Oh, a little bit of contact
Les
there
Levy.
for the 62 of Les Levy. Oh,
No.
man, that's going to take him out of
man.
this, I think, if we stay green. He's going to have to back up and get back into his pit stop, but looks like Kevin Freese, Duke Conrad, Bud Steele, Ryan Decker, all in and away. The 61. Yep, 61 of Ryan Decker is going to come off third. Bud Steele gets a little bit loose there. Richard Sanchez, Eric Laurie, all in this group, as well as the 6 machine of Cody Nagel, still 1 lap down. So that gives the lead back to, we're going to pop back to our leaders who are now pitting. That gave the lead to David Overstreet for that lap, but David Overstreet's going to be the first one in this second pack coming in as one of the, looks like Michael Mayu get a little loose there in front of Timmy Reed getting onto pit road, but looks like Team Extreme's going to answer the call from the Team Boonaka guys, and they're going to come down this time by. So the 64, the 62, the 052, or the 84, the 64, the 052, the 7, the 256, 00410. So that's going to give the lead to that group that's been off cycle from most of the way here. Andy Brigante, Jim Brooks, and Guy L. Brooks. These guys are going to stay in the lead. So Andy's going to actually get this lap led here with Jim Brooks pushing him and Guy L. just behind him. They also have Brandon Briggs.
Yeah, here they come now.
Yep, they're going to come this time by. So whoever gets across the stripe first is going to get that stop. It looks like, wow, great entry for the 71 and the 51 getting around Andy Brigante. So the 51, the 51, and the 21 all in this time by. Looks like...
yeah, you definitely don't want to step on each other's toes.
Yeah, for sure. We got the 11 of Larry Fairman and Brandon Briggs lap cars in this group as well. So I think that's going to give that lap led to Jim Brooks. They are only taking tires, and these guys are going to stay lined up as they leave pit road here. Guy L is going to take the front spot in front of his dad with Andy Brigante pushing him, and we're going to see, looks
Ryan
like,
Decker is at.
yeah, it looks like, unfortunately, Ryan Decker is hot on their heels as they enter turn number 1 right now with a full head of steam, so probably, unfortunately, going to see them get passed by this lead pack, but at least the 21, the 71, the 51, and the 21 are going to be able to stay with this pack, I would hope. As Ryan Decker, Bud Steele, Kevin Freese, Dude Conrad, Richard Sanchez, and Eric Laurie are hanging on here in this front pack. Might be a little close there for Guy L to be able to catch him, unfortunately, but he should be able to fall back to Jim and Andy. And you see here the Team Extreme guys a little bit even further back, led by Tom Dixon and Jimmy Crawford. Got a little, so we actually show the 84 on the side of the car, but 57 in iRacing for Jimmy Crawford. So might need to make sure we have a paint scheme updated for next week. But those two guys are running this pack here for Team Extreme. Obviously, a little bit of chaos as we saw the, I think it was 62 of Les Levy get turned there, or maybe he's just spun on his own onto pit road. So they're definitely falling back as they were in that lead pack before this first pit cycle. We mentioned that that's going to make a huge difference there as far as, you know, that money stop that we mentioned and making sure that you can stay up front and have a clean stop and do it as fast as you can without mistakes. So definitely the guys who did it the best are the 61 of Ryan Decker, Bud Steele in the 10 car, and the Team Bootnaka crew, it looks like.
Oh, looks like that 21 is going to slide right in front of Team Extreme. That's actually really going to slow them down and kill all that momentum they had and pretty much any shot of catching that front group, because now they are about 4 seconds off the lead group.
Yeah, about 4 seconds back here. Just trying to do what they can at least. Team Extreme's still going to have enough of a run to get around them on the outside even after getting hung up by the 21 trying to throw the block, Andy Brigante. But this group's going to have to work together if they can to try and see what they can do to get back to the front here. Tom Dixon is now 4.5 seconds behind Eric Laurie, the last car in this first pack, as you see the gap there on your screen. Definitely a lot to make up in 13 laps. 4 seconds is quite a distance here when you're going over 200 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if we can pull that up. I know we've got something here. Here we go. Eric Laurie doing 197 miles an hour, 197 at the peak, now 194 down the back straightaway, so just under 200 miles an hour. Ryan Decker, our leader, doing 100, over 200, entering the corner now 191 as he exits turn number 4. So Ryan Decker and Bud Steele are lined up, first and second. Then you've got the teammates of Kevin Freese, Dude Conrad, Richard Sanchez, and Eric Laurie in this first pack. Now the 6 machine of Cody Nagels, who is, I believe, 1 lap down still at this point, maybe 2 actually. He's in this, yeah, he's 1 lap down. So he's the first car 1 lap down. So if a caution were to come out with 12 to go, he would still be in this thing, get his lap back, and try to make something happen. So you see lots of jumbling back in the back of the pack here. As looks like this Team Extreme group is going to be broken up a little bit there by Gael and others. So now Gael's got about 6 tenths. They should be able to catch back up here. Gael's got a good run now. So the second group here. But they're still 4.5 seconds back off of our leaders.
Yeah, I'm watching their lap times. It's slowly going. Now it's about 5 seconds now.
So definitely getting down to the end of this. We see still Ryan Decker, the 61 machine, and the 10 of Bud Steele. They're going to cross the stripe with 10 laps to go this time by here at Daytona. If I was a 61 in the 10 machine, I would probably be expecting to see the 25 machine of Kevin Freese with his teammate of Dude Conrad and the rest of these Team Bootnaka guys eventually try and make a move to the outside. When do you make that move? I don't think it's a if it's coming. I think it's when, and I'm sure we're going to see it at some point. But you know, if you're Team Bootnaka, when do you expect to see them make that move? And if you're the 61 in the 10 car, do you expect them to try and block it, Matt?
Well, you remember what we saw earlier in the race where Ryan Decker used that the side draft, pretty much like broke up the field a little bit. I think Kevin Freese might do that to Bud Steele, but I think it might happen within probably about 2 to 3 laps to go.
So we'll probably, I'm guessing we're going to see a little bit of patience until then, but we'll just have to wait because there's still a decent amount of action coming on. No, I take it back. They're pretty much tucked in line here. The second pack is now actually, yeah, Andy Brigante every once in a while will stick his nose out trying to, I don't know if they're trying to make that second lane work back here, but everything that they're doing back here, I don't know if they're just trying to get the Team Extreme drivers lined up, but everything they're doing here to be too wide is not helping their chances tonight, unfortunately. This second group
no,
here.
it's not.
So I think with 8 laps to go now, that's pending any yellows that may or may not happen. I think that's going to seal the deal that we're really going to have 6 drivers here in this first pack competing for this win tonight, as Ryan Decker, Bud Steele, Kevin Freese, Dude Conrad, Richard Sanchez, and Eric Laurie are those drivers that have put themselves in position. Here we go. We see the 25 jumping to the outside.
Like what I said.
Yep, exactly how you said it might happen. Stalls out the 10. 10 is now disconnected from the 61. And the 8's going to get back to the bumper of that number 25 machine. I guarantee those teammates are just going to ride in line there.
Nope. Look at the lap car of Cody Nagels. He's going to stick with that bottom
Cody's
pack.
going to stick there. Whoa, all over the track is the 8 machine of Dude Conrad all over the back of the 25. Unfortunately, they're not going to get down in time to keep the 071 of Eric Laurie there with them. So Eric Laurie's going to have to be demoted to the back of this pack here. He should be able to hang on to the draft here of this group, but he is going to be now the last car there, as the 25 machine of Kevin Freese, Dude Conrad, and Richard Sanchez, teammates here, have now inherited the podium placings.
Now I expect a little bit of pretty much do unto others move here. I think the 61 is going to do the same thing to Richard Sanchez. And hopefully Bud Steele, we're going to go with the 61 here. We'll see.
We'll see. Who knows? And maybe even the 6 machine of Cody Nagels, one lap down, could have a chance to maybe make something happen, push the 61 and the 10 perhaps, and maybe try and help them get the win. Exactly. I don't know. Obviously, the 25 machine of Kevin Freese was very, very kind to the 6 machine earlier in the race to try and keep him from going 2 laps down. So maybe, who knows, maybe the friendship there will help, and maybe the 6 will stick with Team Butnaka. But we'll have to wait and see. I think, I don't know. It seems like that move was made way too early unless the 25, the 8, and the 5-10 are confident enough.
I think that move was I think it was executed perfectly, but I think it was a little early.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You're gonna see a little bit of retaliation.
Yeah, because now the 61 and the 10 have a chance to make that same move happen. They've got now 5 laps to do it. Obviously, I mean, executed nearly to perfection. Maybe the only thing more perfect would have been if they could have gotten the 071 clear of the 61 and been teammates lined up 1, 2, 3, 4, which would have made it even tougher for the 61 and the 10 machine. But I think for the most part, the 8 and the 5-10 are just going to stick in line and try and push the 25 here. Obviously, Team Butnaka really kind of employs a strategy of whichever teammate is able to get out front is the one that they're going to push to the win. They've got a pretty solid allegiance to that team. And,
when do you think the move's going to happen? Oh man,
we'll see. I think the 61 and the 10 have to try something, right? You know, they you know, the 61 can try and lean back a little bit, get to the front bumper of that 10 machine, and down the backstretch try to do the exact same thing that the 25, the 8, and the 5-10 were able to. But I don't know. There's a little bit of a disconnection here between the 61 and the 10. Maybe not as organized to try and make something happen.
So if they're gonna have to do it, they're gonna have to do it not with 1 lap to go, because it's gonna kill all their momentum and try and pass the 8 and the 25 there. So at least minimum, probably about 2 laps to go here.
Yeah, we'll see. Working on 4 this time. It will be 3 at the stripe. These drivers are going to be trying to do everything they can to win this race. Obviously, we mentioned the Team Butnaka teammates 1, 2, 3 right now are going to be working as hard as they can to push one of their teammates to the win as the 5-10 jumps out of line there. Take it back. 5-10's going to try and jump out of line. He's going to pick up the 6 machine, and they're going to try and make this.
Nice move by by the 61 there.
Yeah, got inside.
What? Look at this.
6 machine, a lap car.
5-10, yeah.
Yeah, lap car is going to help out. We got another lap car here of the 11 machine. He's going to tack onto this outside lane, see if they can make anything happen. But the 61 and the 10 now are only behind 2 teammates of Kevin Freese and Dude Conrad at the front of this pack. 2 laps to go this time by. The 5-10 is going to try and make a move to the outside with the 6 this time, trying to get back up to where his teammates are. Maybe Rich is trying to get a win for himself tonight. Or Rick, I should say. Sorry. Rick Sanchez in the 5-10 machine.
If they're going to do it, it's going to have to be this lap.
2 to go. That time by at the stripe. Only 5 miles left. Less than 5 miles left. Richard Sanchez is going to drive to the outside here. Does he have enough momentum to pull alongside?
No.
They got some help, though. They got the 60-11 and the 0-1 on the outside. Not enough momentum to get there. Going to drop in behind the 10 machine and come back down to that inside lane. So Kevin Freese is going to take the white flag this time by with his teammate in the 8 machine pushing him. Can the 61 and the 10 do anything to get around these drivers? Or are they going to have to settle for second and third as the 5-10 and the 6 machine are still trying to make that outside lane work? They're going to try and push themselves to a win in that outside lane.
If he's going to side draft, he's going to have to do it now.
Still not, they can get quite a run, but they can't get as much progress as they need to and keep it as the 61 and the 10. They're going to try and come.
Oh, he tried for it. He couldn't do it.
Not enough of a run to try and make something happen, but the 5-10 has pulled all the way up to the 61 machine with that 6 pushing him. Kevin Freese and the 8 machine just pushing as much as they can to stay on that inside lane.
Not going to happen.
They have the momentum. They're on the inside lane. Everything is broken up behind them. The 25 and the 8 have been the class of the field for most of the night, and they are going to win the race. Kevin Freese I believe that's his third win on the season in that 25 machine. An incredible effort.
Wow.
Incredible effort by the 61 and the 10 to try and make something happen. Great effort by Richard Sanchez with the 6th lap car trying to make something happen at the end, but wasn't enough for the winner tonight, Kevin Freese, in that Bud Light Ford Mustang.
He gave it all. He gave it his all. But I felt like if he was going to make that move, he should have done it a lap earlier. At least try for it, not wait till the last minute. Because it's very calculated. I mean, you got to do it spot on perfectly.
Watching now the number 25 machine. Some donuts here from Kevin Freese and the 8 machine of Dude Conrad. Teammates going to try and burn it down together down the front stretch here. And we've got a couple interviews to get to, so we're going to take a break from this action here. We'll come back to these two drivers here, but the first one we've got to call up is the number 61 machine of Ryan Decker. So we'll go ahead and do that.
I got him.
We got him here. That is the number... Oh, he was here. There we go. We got the number 61 machine here of Ryan Decker. We saw you try to make something happen towards the end of the race there with Bud Steele. Couldn't quite get it done, but a very, very valiant effort towards the end of this race to try and make something happen. How did that end of that race go for you, Ryan?
Yeah, I was trying to work with Bud and the Roswell guys. I mean, they've been helping me out the past few weeks as far as racing with them. I was hoping to kind of get him sucked up to me a little bit better on that last lap, but I think Loney and them went outside and kind of killed his momentum to catch up with me and to push me up there to that outside. So sucks I couldn't drag him up to it, but top 3 finish. Hey, I can't complain.
Yeah, we saw you guys try and duck to the outside to try and make something happen. By then, the 510 and the 6 machine had that outside lane covered, and you kind of tried to shoot to the middle, but not enough momentum there, unfortunately, for you guys. We saw you guys leading there with about 10 laps to go. We expected you guys to kind of, unfortunately, really be in a sitting duck situation. Did you expect the 25 and the 8 machine to make that move as early as they did?
Yeah, I knew they was. They had a lot of help. You know, those boot knocker guys are hard to compete with whenever, they're all up there. So, I mean, they had a lot of help behind us. I knew they were going to make a move soon. Didn't know exactly what lap they would, but I knew they were going to be hard to beat. So,
yeah, definitely, like we said, still a great effort from you and Bud Steele to try and make something happen. We saw you at the last pit stop there, took only only fuel, no tires, to try and get that track position. Do you think that is what really helped you propel yourself to the front to be able to stay with this front pack and try to compete for the win tonight?
Oh yeah, I mean this league is. All these guys are good as far as very respectable drivers. I mean, they're wonderful to race with. So, I mean, track position, being up front, especially with the team and everything, is key in these super speedways.
So, Ryan, this is Matt. So, I was waiting, and I was telling Boomer, I said, if Ryan was going to make that side draft to the 8 car, he's going to have to do a 2 to go and try and build that momentum back up again. Was that like a last minute change of thought, or were you trying to jump right in front of the 510? I'm just quite curious.
No, I was actually trying to side draft, but the 510 just kind of killed Bud's momentum, and that's I was hoping they'd be back by the time me and him could get together, and so that way we could get that outside going. But it didn't happen that way. So I mean, that's pretty close to what our plan was.
Definitely still a great effort, as we mentioned, and third place is still plenty to be proud of tonight for you, Ryan. We've been mentioning, Matt mentioned earlier in the broadcast that you've been up here in the mix trying to make stuff happen, and obviously tonight still got plenty to show for it with that third place finish. And
that win is coming. Yeah, that win is coming, Ryan.
I want to give you the chance to give any thanks and shout outs for that podium placing tonight.
Bud Steele and the Roswell guys, I mean, they do a wonderful job. They've been helping me out in this league. Y'all guys for putting this broadcast on. Y'all do a wonderful job. my girlfriend, Caitlin, she does that whole Cincy stuff. So if you need any smell goods for your house or anything like that, I mean, hit me up on Discord or something. I'll send you a link. So, but anyways,
Yeah, that's
appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, great to see you supporting her with the Sensi paint scheme. It's always cool to see different paint schemes and why people run them, but that's awesome to support her and have that good-looking car out there on the track.
Yeah, I try to support her and everything she does because her success is my success. So, I mean, it's always back and forth in the relationship.
Awesome. Well, congratulations again, Ryan, and I hope you enjoy that third place finish tonight.
All right, thank you.
Let's say that's probably boyfriend of the week material there for Ryan Decker running the Sensi paint scheme. Gotta love that to hear that support from him.
Yeah.
Got a couple other drivers here that we'd like to get a chance to interview. We're gonna pull up now, Dude Conrad in that number 8 machine. Dude, definitely a great opportunity there for you at the end of this race. You guys really were in position all race long, you and your teammates, to make something happen and try to be there to be there at the end. And it kind of fell your guys' way, and you guys had a great race. How did it look from your viewpoint inside the cockpit?
Well, the car felt great. At last pit stop, we decided to take 4 tires. Car was getting a little bit loose. Wasn't nothing you couldn't handle, but just we was under caution anyway, so we took 4 tires, and man, it made a big difference. Other than that, we just kind of kept our eyes dotted and our T's crossed and made the race.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I said the same thing about that last green flag pit stop, which you guys obviously executed pretty well and seemed to help you out quite a bit, especially the tires there on the last yellow flag, or the first caution, but the yellow flag pit stop as well that you mentioned where you took 4 tires. Do you really think the handling made that much of a difference here tonight at Daytona?
It wasn't up front, but pushing, it did. Like I said, it was getting just a smidge loose. Nothing you couldn't. Nothing to bitch about for damn sure. We just did it because it's under caution. We wanted to see what it would do. It made a significant change. It wasn't nothing, like I said, that you couldn't handle. It just kind of peace of mind.
Definitely. We saw Ryan Decker was the one there who did not take tires, and he was able to stay up front, but definitely was kind of a sitting duck after that last pit cycle. Did you guys, we obviously saw that it was kind of a moment or a matter of when, not if, you and Kevin and Rick and Eric would make a move to the outside. Were you guys trying to plan on making that when you could, or was that kind of scripted to do that at that time, or were you going to try and wait later but had a good run? How did that timing work out as far as when you guys took control at the end of the race there with about 8 laps to go?
Whenever whoever's in the lead, whenever he wants to go, is when he wants to go. We don't script anything. We just whenever I see his bumper it ain't right there and move it, that's when we need to move it. Whenever he's ready.
All right. Well,
but yeah, we was definitely going around him for sure.
Yeah, I know it's a matter of when, not if. Obviously, we've seen you guys with Team Bootnack able to work together really well and have great communication. And whoever gets out front seems to be the guy that you just are going to be committed to push to the finish. So obviously, a great opportunity for you guys tonight. I mean, you pretty much led most of the race, other than that yellow. But I guess before that yellow came out, were you guys kind of expecting to just kind of check out, set sail, and continue to gap the rest of the field?
Absolutely. We was hoping the caution didn't come out and we could finish the race early and with no incidents and green flag pit races. They're hard to do here. Yeah, we were just going to ride it till the end, and whoever was with position to win, that's who he was going to push. Other than that, it was a fun race.
Definitely fun to watch from up here in the booth as well. Got those beautiful blue and white colors with Yorkville on the car. Bit of a nod to a couple generations of Dale Jr. paint schemes, but good looking car and a great second place finish for you guys tonight. Want to give you any chances for any thanks and shout outs you'd like to give for that runner up position.
I'd like to thank Richard for coming in and being part of the team. It was fun running with him tonight. Congratulations, Kevin. I owe him so many damn wins. It's stupid. Jesus couldn't have pulled me off of his bumper tonight. Let's see. First and foremost, so one of our teammates is having some family issues, and man, you take for granted some of these guys. You never meet them. You just talk to them for years and years over the microphone, and well, I sure miss him.
I know how it is.
Love that guy.
I know how it is.
Hope everything's going good. Praying for him.
Yeah, definitely hoping, thinking of him and praying for him as well. But still a great race for you guys tonight, and another chance next week to do better, to not do better, but continue the success, and hopefully by then his issues are resolved. But yeah, congratulations once again for that second place, that runner-up 1-2 finish for your team.
And for bud, thank you.
All right, that'll do it for Dude Conrad in that number 8 machine. We've got one more interview, and that is the number 25 of Kevin Freese. We're going to pull him up. I believe, Kevin, this is your third win on the season, is it not?
Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. I'm not full. I don't really know.
I'll have to go back and maybe
Pull up your
fact
statistics
check
here.
it. Yeah. So that's going to fact check that for us. But we already talked to Dude Conrad, and we've highlighted you guys always have a team mentality of whoever gets out front is going to be the guy that you guys end up pushing to the victory. And obviously saw you guys make that move there with about 8 laps to go and kind of set sail. But how from your perspective, it seemed like the race went pretty smooth tonight for you guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We worked. We always work really well together, and our pit stops were strong all night long, which really makes everything easier when you're not going to get shuffled back. And we were able to get under that caution. We took 4 tires, and I think that really was helpful with being able to move the car around, have a really strong pit stop, because that's one thing that this car seems to use more of the rear tires, and you need that extra stability to be able to make your moves that you want to make at the right time.
And we definitely saw tires and handling come into play quite a bit, even more so here when we went to Atlanta last, which will be next week. So who knows? Maybe that 4-tire stop will be the difference next week as well. But yeah, definitely a great effort. I mean, you guys seem to be organized most of the race. I know we talked to Dude, and he kind of mentioned, you guys were really hoping to not have that yellow flag come out and hope to kind of continue to pull away in that front pack, but you guys are still kind of able to pull away even after the yellow flag and the green flag cautions due to your execution to pull away from the pack, and it really only 6 cars there were competing for the victory.
Yeah, a lot of it was we were able to. Everybody seemed to come off pit road really tight together. I know Ryan and Bud were able to come out. Like, I got out a little too far, and Dude was behind me, but not quite close enough to get that push that we needed. So Ryan and Bud were able to get around us, but then we stayed in line just to make sure that the pack, we were able to break away as much as we could, because that speed, and you're just gaining that much more time on the other people. And then it was just trying to figure out when the best time would be to try to make the move for the win. I was trying to gauge, just back off a little bit, drag a little brake in the corners to gauge the run coming onto the straightaways, just to figure out where we wanted to do it in order to not lose our momentum and then gain it back if somebody stayed low with them. And we just were able to time that pretty well, I think, and it was huge. Great pushing by Dude as always, and it was a great run for us.
Yeah, I know Dude mentioned that you kind of took the call to say, hey, we're going now with 8 laps to go. Was that something, like you kind of mentioned a little bit, but was that something that you just kind of planned to wait for the momentum, or were you kind of trying to wait for a little bit later, or you just took the momentum as soon as you had it and went?
Yeah, I was more watching because I knew if I saw that Bud was pretty tight to Ryan, because if he's backed off a little bit, like cooling his car, and I come up to him with my run, if I pull out even a little too late, all I'm going to do is give my momentum straight to him, and we're basically going to be dead in the water. So when I saw that they were still in basically a tandem, I knew if I could get to his right rear corner and pull him back, we would be in pretty good shape. And like the couple laps before, I was looking to do it as well, pull out a line, but I saw they had the separation. And then once I started moving forward with my run, it just pushed Bud right back up to him. So I didn't want to just basically shuffle ourselves, because we would have gotten hot for absolutely no reason.
Definitely a great performance as well. And I did a little bit of fact checking, so this would be your third start, your second win. So I had a 66% win rate for the season so far. Is Kevin
Same
Freese?
track.
Yeah, same track
It's
even. 2
pretty
wins at
good.
Daytona.
Yeah.
Daytona.
Oh, I love Daytona. It's a tighter track. It really requires knowing what you're doing with pushing these lines, and I think people are figuring it out more and more. Like, they're learning more and more about the car every single week, and you can see that we're able to break away. But I think a lot of that was the pit stop execution under the green flag
Yeah.
that caused
So
that. It wasn't so much like the draft working different and all of us, like, people doing things that didn't work that caused it.
yeah. So what I saw mid race was the 61 was trying to make a move, and I saw a bit of a side draft, which caused that breakup a little bit
Yeah.
just before the pit stops, and was like, whoa, and that caused at least a second gap. It's like, guys,
Yeah, I was riding in the car, and I was I think I was pushing Cody at the time because I was like, all right, we're coming close to our pit stop here, let's get organized. And then I looked at my relative and I'm like, oh, 2-second gap, holy cow, when did that happen? But it just happens that fast.
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep us all back together, and I was also running 280 something degrees that entire time, so we were able to get all of us back together without really jeopardizing anything, and it worked out for us. But it's just that the side draft is a great tool, but if your line has momentum like the upper line, the one time I was pushing, we were getting a little too close and it was just stalling us out. A lot of it, if you have the momentum in your line, stay as far away from that inside line as you can, because you're just going to kill yourself side drafting.
Definitely some great input there from Kevin. We appreciate that and appreciate you sharing after getting that win tonight, that 1-2 finish with yourself and Dude Conrad. Want to give you a chance now to give any thanks and shout outs for that victory this evening.
Yeah, huge thanks to you guys putting on the broadcast. I have it up right now, actually, on my computer screen. Thanks to Dude and Eric and Rick for a great run tonight. It was a lot of fun out there. These cars are always such a blast. And a huge shout out to Gabe if he's watching out there. And we will see you guys again later this week.
Yes, we will. Definitely on Thursday night as well. Appreciate you plugging our other leagues as well here, Kevin. But congratulations once again, and we'll see you soon.
All right. You guys have a good night.
You as
You too,
well.
man.
All right, that will do it for the evening. You see on your screen the 25 and the 8 doing tandem burnouts after the race. Cool to see teammates able to get that 1-2 finish, but we've got a whole other field of drivers to run through as well. So we've already talked to Kevin Freese, Dude Conrad, and Ryan Decker. Finishing in our top 3 tonight, Richard Sanchez pulled out the 4th place finish with Eric Laurie behind him. And Bud Steele, the 6th place car, last car in that front pack. About 8 seconds back, we had Andy Brigante leading the 2nd pack with David Overstreet, Jimmy Crawford, and Austin Call in 10th place. Tom Dixon, Jim Brooks, Gael Brooks, Michael Mayu, and Brad Slagle round out your top 15. And we had Timmy Reed, Cody Nagels, and Les Levy rounding out your top 18. Next page of the results here. And that actually is the end of the last of the results. So we've got Larry Fairman and Todd Merkel, 3 and 4 laps down after their woes tonight. Brandon Briggs after that early contact finishing in 21st. James Moen in 22nd. David Bone, Joshua Hanner, Mike Rimkus, Edwin Outlaw, and Chris Passini. Probably not the nights that they wanted there. You see Chris Passini 74 laps down after that initial contact early on. So unfortunate for the closed circuit racing team tonight. But they'll have a chance again to do it again next week. We've seen them run really strong at certain points this season, so still plenty of time to get back to the front of the pack. And we will be back next week. Once again, here on Sunday nights, we will be at Atlanta Motor Speedway, or Super Speedway as I like to call it after the repave. So it'll be more exciting action there. It'll be the second time that we've gone back to that track now, so we get a little bit of a notebook from the first race, Matt. What do you expect to see from last race at Atlanta that we'll probably see next week as well?
Oh, we're gonna see probably people being a little bit more careful with and what they did last time. Now they learned that tires mean a whole lot. Last time we saw people taking 2 tires and they would just fall off the pace. And you'll see next week, not next week, but sorry, 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, that's a good distinction, Matt. We've actually got a break. We're going to take a break for the Super Bowl, actually. So we'll be off on Sunday nights for that. So I know a lot of people typically plan big parties for the Super Bowl. So I know a few people. I know Matt, I believe, is going to be having his own party, having some fun next weekend.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be, I'm not married, so I'll be pretty much by myself. So.
All right, well, we'll be taking a break for that at least, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time there at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So have that opportunity to be back and get these drivers some much-needed rest and 1 week off. So we will be back here on Thursday night for Green White Checker TV for the Truck Series Super Speedway events. That'll be back in a couple days here, so make sure you tune in back again for that. There'll be a lot of action in the trucks here again at Daytona. Their schedule will follow ours for the rest of the season. There'll be a little bit. They've got a different off week than we do here on Sunday nights, so there may be a week or two where they're not at the same track, but for the most part, they will be the same. So they'll be here at Daytona Thursday night, so make sure you tune in to that action, and we'll be back before you know it in 2 weeks' time here at Atlanta next in 2 weeks. So it'll be a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody watching the broadcast, everybody rewatching, or all the people chiming in from here and again. Definitely makes it more fun to put this broadcast on for all of you viewers and drivers of this league. It's definitely a pleasure. So for now, though, for myself, Boomer Logan, and for Matt Wagner, we will be signing off, and can't wait to see you soon.
Before you sign off, I would like to do a special shout out. This is from me, from my heart. Steve Goshawk, a good member of used to broadcast for our Tuesday night series. He sadly, tragically passed away last Thursday, and he was 66 years old. Great friend of ours, loved by most, loved by everybody. Steve, I know you can hear this, but love you, man. We miss you.
We appreciate that, Mac. Definitely a friend of the broadcast. I didn't get to know Steve too long after joining here at Area 51 and Green White Checker TV, but a great guy, and definitely going to be missed. And obviously, last week we saw Matt running last Thursday we saw Matt running the colors for him for his paint scheme. So we'll see Matt running that all season long on Thursday nights. So be sure to tune in and watch Matt there this week, and definitely thinking of him and his family right now. So thanks, Matt. And on that note, we are, unless you have anything else, Matt.
No, I'm good.
Appreciate it. Well, take care, everybody. We hope you have a great week. Hug your loved ones for us, and we will see you back here soon enough. Take care.